Hello, fellow visionary, and welcome to my channel. I'm not gonna lie, I woke up this morning and I didn't really want to film a video. I rolled out of bed, I was a little bit tired. I knew that I wanted to go for a walk, but something inside of me was like, do you actually want to film a video? What's the point? This voice inside my head just telling me all the reasons why I should just lay in bed, sleep, and do absolutely nothing. Here's why I didn't do that. And it didn't occur to me until I got up this morning. I just forced myself out of bed. I went for my walk. And eventually, when I got to this spot where we're filming, I decided I would do a little meditation before this video. I put my hands on this tree and I started to breathe, and I started to allow myself to let go, and I just kept deepening my breath, kept asking the universe, this tree that I was touching right here, I kept asking, what do I need to hear? What do I need to channel in order to get past this feeling of not wanting to film a video? What is it inside of me that doesn't want me to film? And it took a while, and it was very frustrating because I couldn't pinpoint why it was so difficult for me to just get in front of this camera this morning and just film. And as I'm meditating, I'm hoping for answers. I'm praying that God, universe, source, whatever you want to call it, gives me an answer as to why I don't want to film. But then, as I continued to allow my thoughts to swirl about, and I continued to just relax and pray for the best and just focus on my breath, eventually the answer came to me. It's in the moments where we can quiet our mind and be in this place of emptiness where we actually will find most of our answers. Have you ever been in the shower in the morning, and as soon as that water hits the back of your neck, you're just in a state of bliss? That warm water feels so good on your neck, and then all your best ideas just come to you? Do you ever have those moments? It's because you just stop thinking and you feel into your body for that moment, and you just are in such a state of relaxation that all the answers just come to you. And so the answer that came to me when I was doing this little meditation this morning was that, Chandler, you love to challenge yourself. You love to do things that are challenging. And I started flashing through images in my past. I've ran a marathon. I built out a cargo van that I can live out of. I'm in chiropractic college, which is a graduate program, which is pretty strenuous and tough. It's a 3.5-year program. Sometimes it's really sucked. Sometimes it's been awesome. I've met a lot of great people. But when I look back on my life with all the things that I've done, collegiate soccer, what I truly enjoy doing when I look back on my life is doing challenging things. Because challenging things and difficult things in our life bring us the most meaning. They shape us and turn us into the people that we ultimately want to become. They make us tougher from the inside out. But see, there's this voice inside our head, there's this ego that is telling us as to why we shouldn't do it. It's too much effort, it's too much work. And so we allow that voice inside our head to say, you know what? Yeah, you're right. It'd be easier to just lie in bed today. But deep down, you know in your soul that you need to get up out of bed. You need to get yourself to where you want to go. You need to find that something inside of yourself that gets you up and allows you to harness that untapped potential inside of you that you know you have deep inside of you. I know that you have that inside of you, but it is difficult. It doesn't have to be difficult. And if we can just relax and allow those thoughts to subside, Just like the waves in the ocean, they flow in and they flow out. Your thoughts are going to flow in and they're going to flow out. And if you can just watch and observe your thoughts, which is why meditation is so powerful, guys, I highly recommend doing it daily. Even if you can just start at 5 minutes, then build up to 10, then build up to 30, you will be able to find those moments like when you're in the shower and you can just relax, and all of your ideas of creativity, abundance, whatever it is you're seeking will just pour into you. The answers will be right in front of you within. And you won't need any external substance like alcohol, drugs, whatever you need to bring you to these states of bliss and euphoria. You'll be able to tap into them naturally. And it's such a powerful and invigorating feeling knowing that you can tap into these feelings daily. And it's not hard, and it doesn't have to be hard. And there's this commonality when we talk to people in society where it's like, oh, meditation, yeah, I know it'd be good for me, but it's really hard. And it's like, I don't think I'm not the right fit for meditation. And, we come up with all these excuses. And again, that's our ego just telling us why we shouldn't do it, because it's hard. Yes, meditation is hard at first, but gradually it will get easier because it's a practice. It's like shooting a free throw. The more free throws you take, the better your average is going to be. What is your why? Why are you doing what you're doing? This is a very strange question to ask yourself sometimes, because you'll ask yourself why, and then you'll get to a point and you're like, you could ask why again, and then you're just not really sure where this will eventually lead. But I would recommend continually asking yourself why. Why are you doing it? And then answer it again. Why are you doing it? And if you can get to the core emotion of why it is that you're doing what you're doing, you can realize what it is that's fueling you. And if you can realize what's fueling you, it may be positive or it may be negative. Typically, a lot of what fuels us isn't necessarily a positive feeling. Oh, we got this train going by. I was just interrupted by a train. So we're gonna do this video walking. So, where was I? We were talking about your why. Why are you doing what you're doing? If you can get to the core emotion of why you're doing what you're doing, you can know what is fueling you on the day-to-day, why you're getting up, what's energizing you. And that can be very beneficial to know what is fueling you. Because if you can get to the core of what's fueling you, then if it's a negative energy, let's say anger or frustration from your past, then you can ultimately channel that energy and form that negative into a positive. And that's called transmutation. When I ask myself why I'm doing what I'm doing, sometimes when I get to the core of why it is I'm doing what I'm doing, it can actually be from a point of frustration. When you think of your why, what comes to mind? It's a really profound experience when you can ask yourself that question honestly. For me, when I say, what is my why? Why am I going to chiropractic college? Why am I filming this video? And my answer would be, I want to help people. Well, why do you want to help people? I want to help people because the world will be a better place if I help people. Well, why do you want the world to be a better place? Because if the world is a better place, then we can all live in harmony and peace, and that would just be a much more fun and freeing life. There wouldn't be as much suffering in the world. So why do you want there to not be suffering in the world? Well, I don't want there to be suffering in the world because suffering is not a good feeling. I don't like seeing people go through pain. I don't like wars. I don't like violence. I don't like the idea of people being killed, obviously. I don't like so many things that are terrible to think about. So why do I not want terrible things to happen to people? Well, because I'm a human being and I have a soul that doesn't like to see suffering. Well, why don't you like to see suffering? Because it's difficult for me to come to grips with it. It's hard for me to see that kind of suffering in the world. Why is it hard for you to face that kind of suffering in the world? Because I'm an emotional being and I have emotions and I don't like to see people suffer or be in pain. Why is that important to me? Why does that resonate with me? While I have suffered, I haven't suffered to the level that some people in third world countries have suffered. Places like India, Africa, Mexico. I've been blessed to be born in beautiful California, where there's so much abundance and we have just such an amazing, thriving economy, paved roads, clean drinking water. I've been blessed with such a beautiful life, and knowing that there's people out there suffering and who haven't been as fortunate as I've been truly makes me want to be able to help those people. You see how this exercise goes. And for me, that's just where those questions were leading me today. It might change for you on a day-to-day basis if you ask yourself those questions. It's a great exercise to just play around with. Try not to be so judgmental when you're answering those questions, because you'll get the most out of it when you're being honest with yourself. And it's okay if those questions lead you to a place where it's a dead end and you feel like at one point when I was doing that little exercise, I felt like I was going down a dead end and I kind of didn't know where to go. I was like, I just want to help people. Like, can we just end it at that? But there's a deeper reason and emotion to why you're doing that or why you're wanting that. There's a deeper reason that I clearly don't want people to suffer at an emotional level. And when I get to the core of why it is that I want to help people, especially those that are less fortunate than me, I have this feeling deep down at the core. It's almost like guilt. Well, it's like, why was I blessed to be born in such a beautiful place in California? Why was I so deserving to be brought up in the beautiful United States of America, where the economy's thriving? You can have so many opportunities growing up here as a kid. Why me? Why was I given this fortunate opportunity and not born in another country where kids are suffering? There's a lot of guilt there when you're born in such a thriving economy in a place where you do have so much abundance compared to most. And so when I get to the core of my why and helping others who are less fortunate, it really does come from a place of feeling this guilt. And some people would say, well, you shouldn't feel guilty for where you were born, but in a lot of ways, that's how I felt when I have traveled to places like India, Mexico, Europe, even. There's a lot of suffering in the world, and going over to those places, it brought tears to my eyes to see how some of these kids just grow up with no shoes on their feet, no clean drinking water, the basic necessities that we are so privileged and fortunate to have in the US. But at the same time, within that, when I've gone to some of these other countries that are less fortunate than the US, let's say, the kids have been some of the most happy kids that I've ever met. And they have so much less than us. They are so grateful for everything that they have. They're just grateful to be alive and be able to play with their friends and be able to be outside in the fresh air. They're not so caught up in this crazy world that we're in here, where people have so much abundance and so much wealth, and so many things that we have materially, that they just don't even think about 99% of the problems that we have. Meeting some of those kids in some of the more impoverished countries, I've actually been like, I'm happy for them that they weren't born in the States, because the States has so many mental health issues, our own health crisis here with chronic illness. So maybe they are better and more fortunate to be in another country, honestly. I think about those things. And I know I'm going down a little bit of a rabbit hole, a little bit of a tangent here today. And it's probably because I'm walking around now and my mind is going from thought to thought. So I apologize if this video is kind of all over the place. I'm just having fun with it. It's fun to explore your mind. It really is. This is why I love walking. This is why I love meditation, breath work, cold plunges, doing these things that challenge you a bit. If you're considering filming, or if you're considering doing a creative project, you should do it because it's challenging. Don't do it because it's easy. Do it because it challenges your soul, it challenges your thoughts, it challenges your creativity to a point where it stretches you. It stretches your capabilities. But ultimately, when you're done and you're finished and you complete that project, and that should always be your goal, is to finish a project from start to finish, which is something that I struggled with all my life, is finishing projects. I used to open up books, read a chapter, never finish it. And now I'm completely opposite. I'm the person who will open a book and I will not put it down until I finish that book. I used to be a college dropout, and now I'm in a graduate program where I'm finishing it till completion. You can change. So this idea that people don't change, people can't change, is complete ludicrous. It's complete bullshit. People can change. Your mind can change. Your neural connections in your brain can change. If you have that belief and you have that faith inside yourself, anything is possible, guys. If anyone tells me that it's not possible to change or it's not possible to do these things, I don't even listen to it. We live in a world where there's so much negativity and so many doubters that it can feel so uncomfortable to put ourselves in these uncomfortable situations. But the reality is that's where you should go. Go to the uncomfortable place. Go travel to that place you've never traveled to before. Try that food that you've always wanted to try. Write that book that you've been waiting to write. Or maybe an article, a blog. Start that website that you're looking to start. Create that video content that you want to put out to the world. Those little baby steps will lead to you eventually running a marathon. I kind of like this format. If you guys like this video where I am just walking and talking to, drop a comment below and let me know, because I find it a little bit more energizing for myself than just standing in front of the camera. So maybe I'll incorporate a little bit more walking and talking. It kind of sparks new ideas for me. So see, this is where the creative process is so awesome, because this morning when I woke up, I was like, oh, I'm gonna film another video in the same place. And I was already coming from this place of feeling a little bit bored. And now, just from changing it up and walking around, it's sparking new creativity within me. And that's exactly what the creative process will do for you if you continue to just stick to it and don't be afraid to change things up. Don't be afraid to take a different route to work. Don't be afraid to walk a different path on your daily walk. Don't be afraid to try a different form of meditation or a different form of breath work. It's really easy to be very rigid and be stuck in your day-to-day, and that's where the monotony comes in, and we get bored, and then we start to hate life. But if we can change things up once in a while, and this is me speaking for myself, you will find new connections and your brain will start to open up in ways that you didn't even realize were possible. So I think that about wraps it up for today's video. I really appreciate you guys. If you're still watching and you're still tuning in, remember to hit the bell and subscribe to my channel. Share this video with a friend or family member that needs to see it. And I just wanted to say, I really do appreciate you. I'm so grateful for you if you're still watching my content and you're still following my journey. It's been a hell of a journey, guys. It's been challenging at times. It's been eventful. It's been fun, exciting. It's been boring at times. It's been all of the things. It's been all of the emotions. And I just wanted to take a moment to say that I love and appreciate you just for being here with me in this moment. And I hope you have an incredible day, guys. Much love.